Hey folks, Siam here. So I've been prodded constantly by a lot of different people to do a video about Casper, and I've been really reluctant. And the reason being is that there are a lot of, I guess, new and naive people in the Casper community, and anyone that says anything slightly bearish about it, they're instantly attacked, which has been the case for myself. And yeah, which is why all the up-only moon boys are, getting a lot of attention, but a lot of them are consistently wrong. So a lot of my bearish sentiment or short-term bearish thoughts have actually played out. I've been absolutely spot on with Casper, yet I'm now labelled as a Casper hater, which is so far from the case. I am incredibly bullish on Casper. It's my favourite. It's one of my favourite crypto, and at one point I had over 50 million Casper, back when it was around 2 cents. Like, I've been in this for a fair while with a lot of conviction, but I'm a trader, and you have to understand that with the markets you mustn't become emotionally and sentimentally, if that's even a word, connected and tied into your bags, so to speak. You have to let the charts move you, so to speak. So it's that constant battle between fundamental analysis and technical analysis. So if we go back to my log chart here, if we just open up the day. So this is my fractal, which I came up with a fair while back, and it was this fractal which actually predicted that November breakout. To the T almost. I said it would be a 14-day breakout. This happened to be a 15-day breakout. But my actual my fractal models are still valid. So for those that are seeing this brand new, I guess this is going to be a little recap for you. So what happens is these are my fractal sort of doodles, if this makes sense, but you have basically an all-time high, so 7/1, and what happens is that you have a bit of a downturn until you get to a double bottom. So you have number 2, double bottom. You then have spring 3, where the market punches up from the bum line, and then you have retest the bum 4, which is this bit here. And then what happens is around the previous all-time high you have what's called a trap 5, where the market will basically creep above the previous all-time high, and that will catch people out, and then it will have another, and then it will basically move into a sustained sort of flat top compression before the big breakout. And this is the full cycle. So this includes sort of the red bear element and the green, the long drawn out green, or bull market. And the reason being is that Kaspa has these mini and big cycles, and this is, again, this is something I discovered half a year ago, and back then we didn't have much data because Kaspa's only 2 years old, but my big mini cycle theory turns out is spot on. So this, what I've just explained here, is an example of a big cycle. Now if you were to get rid of all that, let's just go back slightly. Let's now focus on this stuff over here. Here we have all-time high. Oh, I forgot to say, you have pre-high 6. Sorry, pre-high 6, and then pre-high 6, and then all-time high 7. But guess what? You then have a mini fractal in itself. So here, this will be all-time high. It will then drift down. It will then create a double bottom 2, spring 3. Not much of a trap 4. Retest the bum 4, but it is there. Then at around the all-time high, you have another trap 5, which is basically a bit of a shakeout. And again, look at this. If you were to zoom in again, so the big cycle and the mini cycle are very similar but slightly different. So if we were to zoom in again, sorry, I've got a big massive fly here. Guess what? We have another sort of similar pattern where you have a bit of a drift down into a double bottom 2, spring 3, 4, trap 5, and then eventually at the end of the year, sort of an 8 to 12 month cycle, you then get the explosive blow off top, so to speak. So where does that leave us to where we are now? Well, guess what? My fractal, my ghost feed, this orange line has been pretty much bang on, folks. So when we had this 15-day breakout, I sold a huge amount of Casper at 15.3 cents. Again, got a lot of hate for doing that, but it's because I'm a trader, folks. Contrary to popular belief, traders are actually good for an asset. You need a lot of trading on both sides of the market. That gives you a resilient and also a deeper market. And anyway, so if you look at so obviously the price looks like it has deviated from the fractal somewhat, but it hasn't. All that's deviated is the amplitude of the market. So if you look at the price action, as in the way it looks, it's still pretty much spot on. I thought this model thought that we'd probably bounce off this big black line. It didn't. It bounced a bit earlier. But if you look at the way it moved up, it's pretty much bang on to this over here, except the amplitude of this move up is a bit, less. Mind you, if it started down here, it probably would have looked pretty similar. But you can see as if you just stretch it out a bit, you could, let's say, curve fit it. But I'm not going to do that. I'm keeping my original one there. So all that's happened is we had this mini new all-time high, which in the realistic trader community, where I share everything, I predicted. And I said we'd get a high of around sort of 17 and a half. It went a little bit higher, hit 19, 18. But guess what? I sold, again, a shit ton of Casper, again, at 18.3 cents, etc. Why? Because I saw this pullback happening into a double bottom. And again, I sold a bit more as we went down. But this price action is basically the same. So what I was saying a few weeks ago is that, we'd have this move down, we'd have some sort of rising compression of some sort, and then a continuation move to the downside, and we basically got that. So what's happening right now is, I think this is a mini cycle that's playing out right now. So we've got a new all-time high, we're coming down into a double bottom. I believe the double bottom is where we are right now. Then we're going to have a bit of a spring up, spring 3, retest the bum, and we're going to have another bullshit sort of dance around the houses trap 5 again. So basically I see a lot more upside coming. So if you were to get, I'm waffling here at the moment. So this is what I see. I see gentle grinding upwards as part of my fractal theory into a long sustained trap 5, a flat top compression trap 5 for basically the remainder of the year, and then around November time we'll have a big splurge up to sort of $1 or maybe more. I mean, I'm hoping price can stay above my fractals. So if anything, I hope that my fractal is too pessimistic and that price actually just emulates it, but just a lot higher. Then we'll all be happy monkeys. But we will see. So if we get out of my log chart and look at a normal price chart on the 12-hour, excuse my little doodles. This is just how I see things. But basically, so we got out around here. And where I see this double bottom happening is potentially around where we are now. We're smashing into big support over here. And guess what? I believe we could be creating a bit of a double bottom. If that's the case, then we've got a bit of a spring 3, retested bum 4, and then a grinding up to sort of the previous all-time highs. Bit of a fanning around a bit, and then moving on. Now, obviously, I've just hand drawn that, but it could that could happen a lot sooner. Actually, things happen a bit more in a vertical sense than what I just did there. So, I guess with hindsight, it's probably going to be, a bit sooner. Sort of April, around April time, I guess. April, May time. We should see further movement up. Now, the reason. I don't know. I genuinely don't know why I get a lot of hate for what I do. All I do is speak my mind. But I'm just flopping back and forth between Tau and Casper. They're my two main bags. I love them both. But again, you have to look at this from a trading perspective. And when you look at, let's say, the zoom out and look at the 3-day chart on Tau against Casper, this is what you see. And anyone with any trading knowledge whatsoever can see that this is an incredibly bullish chart, especially if you saw it way back here. So this is what I call a Russian doll sort of pattern, or an inception type pattern, where you have the same pattern caked on each other time and time again. So this is a Russian doll inverted head and shoulders. So what we're having is basically inverted head and shoulders constantly repeating as it gets bigger and bigger. So if you zoom in, so you can see, basically Tau absolutely shat its pants against Casper from, say, March 2023 to sort of October 2023. Actually, October, September, October, November. Actually, in November is when I went basically full hog into BitTensor. But yeah, basically, Casper had a massive run against Tau. But guess what? Tau launched its subnets, and it's now that massive gravity well sucking in talent and capital from the real world. And so obviously Tau has done a crazy amount better than Casper since sort of October. So from here to here, Tau has basically outperformed Casper 300%. So being a trader, of course, I'm going to be in Tau, not Casper. As in the bigger chunk of my portfolio is going to be Tau rather than Casper. I will always have Casper, but by being 80% Tau for most of this period, I have outperformed all Casper hodlers. And not just that, I'm flip-flopping back and forth. So whenever I see moments of pumpage and whatnot, I'll flop over back into Casper. So I'll end up with more Casper, but without adding any extra money. So this is trading, folks. So very cheesy. Don't hate the player, hate the game, I guess. So what's happening here? We've got head and shoulders galore, inverted head and shoulders galore, all breaking out. They're making much bigger head and shoulders. So anyone in my community has been hearing me hark on about this endlessly. And it's playing out. We have the bum line here for the inverted head and shoulders, and we had a textbook Kobo. We busted out, we pulled back to kiss off and then bugger off. And so what happened relatively recently, so if we go back to sort of February time, when we got into these sort of doldrums around here, I then sold even more Casper. So I've been flip-flopping constantly. It's hard to track, there's dozens and dozens of trades here. But one of the bigger moves I did was I flopped a lot of Casper into Tau at these levels here. In fact, I remember it precisely. It was there, and then a few more times around here. And the reason being is that we had a massive overextension to the downside, and that mean reversion always kicks in. So with any overextended move, you will have a pullback. I mean, if you look at this massive overextension, the market again pulled back. And so I loaded up on Tau even more around here, and it was creating a nice sort of, it looked like a double bottom at the time, and I thought it was a double bottom, but it turned out being some shitty triple bottom. This was a bit of a fake out, and this felt like forever. It was basically 19th of Feb to 1st of March really, where it then so best part of 2 weeks or so. And then it pumped out, then it Kobo'd off this, kiss off, bugger off. And so basically with all of the Casper I put into Tau here, I'm sat on nice profits from where it is now. So only 25%, but still better than nothing. Better than a kick in the balls. So believe it or not, what I actually did last night was moved a shit ton of Tau into Casper. So around these levels here last night, in fact, I've still got some. I can't find, I'm going to have to put it up. I'm still phasing out, actually. But I'm moving more Tau into Casper at these levels for a bunch of different reasons. So The first reason is that although I think Tau is going to continue going up, here's the other thing which I'm also contending with. The reason being is I think we've hit some massive support here for Casper. I believe we've got a potential double bottom, and I think Casper is going to start moving up. So despite what this chart shows and that it looks, well, actually I think what's probably going to happen is some form of sort of falling compression. So I think Casper is probably going to end up moving back down, and then, sorry, Tau against Casper, and then it's going to do its move up here. So what I want to do is get back into Casper for this next little pump up. So I think we can in the short term, over the next couple of months, ride Casper back up to 20, 21 cents or so, maybe even 24. Yeah, at least 20, 21 cents in the relatively short term, and then I'm flopping back over to Tau. So it's just short term movements, folks. But please don't misconstrue me flopping in and out as I hate Casper. I don't. I genuinely think that Casper is the way forward. But also, I want to do a big shout out to, is it Miko Geno? So he's been doing some excellent work here, and I can, obviously Miko and I were very much big power law believers, thanks to Giovanni Santastasi. But when you look at Casper on the power law, you'll realize that actually this cycle is not Casper's cycle. It's next cycle, which is Casper's cycle. And what I mean by that is if we try and get the longer approach here. So I've annotated this elsewhere. I don't know where I've put it. Is it on my... I can't find it. In fact, I'll give it one... No, I know exactly where it is. It's here. I have annotated it. Here we go. Nope, that's Bitcoin. That's Bitcoin. Here we go. So again, always giving shout outs to whoever, Miko, who made this. So the reason why I say that this is not Casper's cycle just yet, it'll do well, I think. But the thing is, by the end of this cycle, which is the end of 2025, we're looking at around $2 to $3. So, I don't think it's going to go much beyond this green band over here. But even still, let's say it did touch the green band, okay? So we're looking at that level there. We're looking, somewhere, call it that one there. So what is that? That is 2 times 10 to the power of 0, isn't it? So that's what, 3, sorry, it's 3, yeah. Yeah, so it's $3. So here is, so 2 times 10 to the power of 0 is $2. 3 times 10 to the power of 0 is $3. So what I'm basically saying here is that this cycle, I'm looking at $2 to $3 for Casper right now, which, at the best, let's say it's $3, divide it by 14.7 cents, you're looking at a 20x for $3. But let's just say it's, I don't know, $2.50. Let's be reasonable. Well, you're looking at 17x. So, and then if you're looking at, at $2, it's more like a 13x. So really, Casper is a 13 to 20x, and it's a pretty safe bet. It's safe as houses. In fact, I don't like that term anymore, safe as houses. It should be safe as Bitcoin or safe as Casper. Houses are not safe for an investment opportunity cost perspective. But yeah, so that's all very well and good. But for this cycle, I see Tau hitting a minimum of a 30x from here. And that's pessimistically speaking. But Casper's next cycle, that's the key thing. So if we look at the end of 2029, we're looking at Casper around $40, folks. So if you bought $10,000 worth of Casper right now, I don't know what price I did this at, but you're going to get roughly 65,000 Casper at $40 in just, I don't know, 6 years time. You're looking at 2.63 million. So the real pumpage is the next cycle for Casper, not this cycle. Yeah, 20x fine if it gets to $3, but I'm in crypto for more than 20, 30x. So that's why I'm positioned the way I'm positioned. But if you just want to put thumb and bum, mind in neutral, and just ride this wave with the least stress possible, and you want, a safe bet, then yeah, just put it into Casper and be happy with the 13 or 20x. But I'm in this for a lot more. So that's just my 2 pennies or my 2 Satoshis worth or my 2 Sompies worth. I hope that makes sense. I'm not a bear. I just look at charts, folks. And yeah. But yeah, I am somewhat bullish short term. Well, long, medium and short term for Casper. So hopefully that's cleared the air. And yeah. Shameless plug, just join the realistic trader community. I share everything I do in real time, and yeah, all my community have been ahead of the curve, whereas when I'm looking at Twitter, a lot of people are behind the curve, folks. So anyway, see you soon. Toodles.